The tall poppy syndrome is something that I'm experiencing a lot recently in Australia. If you don't know what tall poppy syndrome is, it's basically what happens or circumstances that happen where tall poppies are cut off. What does that mean? It means that those who aren't doing the status quo, who might be doing something different or doing something more, are criticized and put down by those around them. Now, I'm Asian Australian. I have Chinese parents, but I was born in Sydney, Australia, and I grew up here. And I've seen this tall poppy syndrome in a lot of areas, both throughout high school, university, and right now the workplace. And it's quite disappointing. It's definitely not something that's new. Australia is very well known for the fact that we have the tall poppy syndrome, but it's very unhelpful and saddening at times, right? Because, why does this happen? I feel like Australia has a very laid back culture and mentality, which is very good, right? When you think of Australia, you think of the outback and you think of people saying, hey, she'll be right. Like basically a very stoic mindset, a very stoic philosophy, a very sort of like, you know what, everything's okay, I'm gonna be okay, a very laid back atmosphere. And that's really, really good, right? Being comfortable isn't a bad thing. But I think when you start to value comfort too much, and when you start to, in fact, do the opposite and start putting down people who maybe value discomfort, not in a weird way, but in a way that promotes, further satisfaction later on, right? I'm not saying that, to promote, pain and to promote those sorts of activities, but doing things that might seem painful now for further gratification later. Let's say you're doing something out of the ordinary, right? Let's say you're not just working a 9-to-5 job, you're building something on the side, right? Whether you're waking up earlier or working on some cool project after work. That's a cool, interesting thing. But the thing is, right, in Australia, if you're doing something outside of this status quo, if you're not relaxing and being comfortable, then you get questioned. You're right? People will wonder, your colleagues, your peers will be like, wait, why are you going through that? Why are you doing that, mate? Like, why go through putting extra time outside of work to do that, right? Why not just, come, chill with us by the beach, chill with us by the barbecue, whatever it is. Why are you doing this thing? And it's not necessarily putting you down. Of course, sometimes they are, but it's not encouraging either. It's not like, oh wow, you're doing this amazing thing, let me try help you, or here are some cool other ideas. It's very much, that's cool, well, I'm gonna do my own thing. And again, I think that's a very I'm showing a very light-hearted perspective. It can be crushing at times. Okay, maybe not crushing isn't the right word, but it can be demoralizing, right? Even for things like finance. Obviously, Australia has a pretty big housing crisis, and affording a house or a home as a young person is not easy. And I'm seeing at work, and by the way, I'm a software engineer, so I'm fortunate enough to make good money, and those around me make a similar amount of good money. I'm fortunate enough to be able to buy a place, and around that, there are a lot of housing strategies, right? Tax maximization strategies around things like negative gearing, debt recycling, and sometimes I talk about that at work. Sometimes I talk about it too much at my fault. But I am finding out I get made fun of almost low-key bullied for talking about these things. Like, mate, in some circumstances I do get it, right? If someone is renting or they're not in a particularly good financial housing situation, talking about buying a house and all these things isn't helpful. And so I am very wary of that, which I try to avoid. But in other cases, when others also have a house, I'm talking about this and I just get pushed out and made fun of, like almost like owning a property is a crime. Like, why aren't I just renting, and why aren't I just spending my money frivolously? It's not the most encouraging, and I've learned to just not talk about it. Right? And I think that's what a lot of Australians do when they do. Oh no, when they do find that there's a case of tall poppy syndrome, right? They just end up not sharing, and that's not a great solution, because sharing can be, and I think is, a good thing. When you share things, people can give you better ideas, and people can learn from you, and you can all work in this journey together. But if everyone's laid back and comfortable, and doesn't want their bubble to be burst, then everyone just stays quiet. And so a lot of my friends, a lot of my entrepreneurial friends who want to do cool and interesting and exciting things, have actually left Australia, right, to places like New York, Dubai, whatever it is, where the environment is more conducive to doing these exciting, cool things. Because Australia it's a very difficult place to be in for that. Of course, it's not impossible. You can see Canva, Atlassian, many other cool startups, but it's much harder to find that circle, that environment, that group of people that will actually spur you on, that will actually help you on that journey to do and build cool and exciting things, right? That for the greater good, or that would do good in society. It's pretty hard, and I'm not sure why Australia is like that. Maybe it's because we have a very comfortable lifestyle. People just want to kick back and take it chill. But for the young person who wants to build cool things, it's not the best, and it's even tougher when people around you put you down. So don't be disheartened. Find that group who can encourage you, motivate you to build. You keep building, keep going, and yeah.